In Columbus, Ohio, a woman pleaded guilty to a series of murders described as serial killings by the state attorney general. This is Rebecca Auborn, and she pled guilty to 4 counts of murder and 1 count of felonious assault after prosecutors said that she intentionally caused the fatal overdoses of 4 victims and tried to overdose a fifth. Today's plea closes a tough case. An overwhelming amount of convincing evidence and an airtight investigation conducted by the BCI and Columbus police left no doubt that a conviction was forthcoming. When law enforcement works together, there's hope for families to secure justice. So that was the Ohio Attorney General, Dave Yost. The victims in the case were not identified by name in court. Investigators said that they were killed between December 13th of 2022 and June 17th of 2023. And Auburn was accused of targeting men in a specific area of Columbus. And she's being compared to Eileen Wuornos, the serial killer that was sentenced to death for confessing to murders of 8 men while working as a prostitute in Florida. Detectives in Auburn's case said that they began investigating after hearing a woman was meeting men for sex, then dosing the Johns with drugs with the intent of stealing from them. And she's going to be sentenced on February 20th of 2026. So she's got 2 months. She'll be sentenced, and we'll find out what they do to her. I found this case, and I thought I would look into just how many serial killers are female in the United States. And it's approximately 8% of the serial killings. And then it said like 15% of all serial killers are women. And if you go back throughout the history of the United States, there have been approximately 3,615 documented serial killers, which is more than any other country in the world, like by far more than any other country. That number accounts for 66% of all known serial killers globally. And of that 3,615, they figure a couple hundred were female. So mostly this is something men do, but there is still a large majority of females that do this, that, kill multiple people. A lot of times they're more in the like nursing home settings where the woman is like taking out the elderly people, where they say they're doing it, to help the person and not necessarily to kill the person. And I guess that, like, historically, the peak period for serial killers for both males and females was back in the 70s and 80s. Um, it says when the numbers of active serial killers was significantly higher, with estimates exceeding 250 at times. So it's not as common today as it was back then, but it's still a serious problem. And if America accounts for over 66%, so 2/3 of all the serial killings in the world are committed in America, that's not a good thing for America. And the females are taking up about, 15 to 17% of that. So I'm going to I found all these little statistics on female serial killers. I don't know how interesting it will be to everyone watching, but I'm going to let them play through. There's 100 of them if you want to sit and read through them. It's kind of interesting because it's not something you hear a whole lot about. They don't even really talk about serial killers all that much anymore. Every once in a while you'll hear about one here and there. But there used to be statistics that there were so many of them, and they weren't calling it that because they weren't well, one, because they weren't catching the guy that was doing it, or girl, but it doesn't seem like they're talking about it in the same way that they used to in the 70s and 80s, because you would hear all these stories, Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy and all these guys. You would hear about them, and there would be these big long stories about them. Um, I don't remember when John Wayne Gacy was. I think he was probably in the 80s or something too. I don't know. I'd have to look all that up. But there was a lot of serial killers from that time frame where but they talked about it more. And now I don't, maybe either there really isn't the same amount or they talk about it differently, so we don't know. Anyway, these are going to play through all these statistics. Like I said, there's 100 of them. And if you're interested, let it scroll through because some of the statistics are actually pretty interesting. And if you have any comments on female serial killers or anything that's happened in this video, leave it in the comments and share your thoughts with everyone else.